for choosing to stay with us. We often use the expression giving back without really thinking about the depth of its meaning. For instance, how much do we give back to our communities and this country by merely investing in local brands and services? This week, Brand SA reflected on 20 years of democratic South Africa at an event in Johannesburg where they looked at ways to work with us citizens to implement Vision 2030 as our blueprint for social and economic growth and development. Joining us right now to break down the vision from Brand SA is Barry Hiles, who joins me now. Barry, good morning.
Hi, morning.
Let's talk about the Vision 2030 for those that don't know what it is.
Vision 2030 is a roadmap for the next 15 years, where we're going, looking back at where we've come from, and taking the lessons from that and looking at where we want to be in 15 years' time in 2030.
Vision is, a vision sometimes comes across as a very lengthy process. Somehow I've heard so many visions and sometimes people wonder how long will it take to implement and how do we structure to make sure that at the end of that vision that there are measurable results and we can look back and say, in actual fact, it worked and that vision is now shared by everybody.
Well, the goals are tied to the NDP and to the Millennium Development Goals. So we have goals that we can see coming, and we have targets that we're aiming for, things that we can measure ourselves against as we make progress.
Often people talk about SA brands, and I understand that there's this loyalty factor and we need to grow the market, but there seems to always be a question, I don't know if it's a fair question, around quality and ethical behavior behind SA brands. Talk to me a little bit about that, because we want people to invest in local products, don't we?
We do want people to invest in local products and to buy local and to be proudly South African. And I think that that's very important across the board for everything. And, you know, there are certain industries where we would look to increasing that quality, but I don't think that that's a general problem.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I often listen to these conversations and we often talk about why are we struggling with this conversation? Because this is not a new conversation. We've been talking we're 20 years into our democracy. This conversation has been on the table so many times that we need to buy local, we need to support the local manufacturers in order to grow the business. Are you seeing that message kind of starting to resonate with South African consumers? Are you seeing a growth in buying local?
I don't know if it's starting to resonate. I think it's increasing over time. And I think that we've been doing this for a long time. It's been an important part of our progress in the last 20 years, and I think that people are getting the message that South Africa is a competitive nation, and that's really the message that we want to drive.
Talk to me numbers. 10 years ago, what were we sitting at vis-a-vis where we are now?
You know, it's hard to put numbers, one big number onto something like that. I think that we're making progress, and as our international perception is growing, more and more people around the world are becoming aware of South Africa as a country that is open for business, a country that can compete internationally with the very best, and that's what we want to tell people.
I mean, we've seen an increase. For example, just one thing off the top of mind is the wine exports. I mean, we've seen Marks and Spencer take some local brands into their market. We've even seen Woolworths invest in local stock. Talk to me about some of the challenges that we're still facing for South Africans to completely get into the whole concept of buying local. Or are there any challenges?
I don't think there are challenges. I think that on the whole, South Africans are very proud of where we are and proud of the industries that we have in the country. So I think it's more a case of awareness that we're trying to drive at this stage.
If we look talking about awareness, put that for me in real results. There's a South African sitting at home buying local. What does that mean?
If you're buying local, if you're supporting local brands, local industries and companies, you're helping to create jobs across South Africa. And that's really probably the major issue that we have as a country is joblessness and the high level of unemployment. So by being conscious of what you're buying and where you're buying it, I think that you can make your own steps to improving that situation. You can be playing your part towards helping create employment in our country, even if it's something small like that, changing a small little issue of behavior.
In 20 seconds, Barry, I often think people don't really know what a South African brand is unless it's been hyped up in the media. It's not. We see the proudly South African label, but I don't know how many people actually look at that label.
I think that people are becoming more and more familiar with both Proudly South Africa and with Brand South Africa, SA Tourism, the national logo that we use. And I think that's the important thing to follow is to be aware of what you're doing and to see how you can play your part in that.
But you guys are starting to make more people aware of what Brand SA is doing and what the brands are that are made and manufactured here locally.
We are doing that. We've got a big campaign planned for the next few months, advising people how they can play their part, how they can help in their own communities, and follow the example of some of the people that we will be highlighting.
Barry, thank you very much. Barry Hiles, who is from Brand SA. He is joining us here to talk about the Vision 2030 and also the role that you can play in promoting local brands and creating and growing this vibrant economy and vibrant business sector. Let us know what you think. You can write to us morning live at sabc.co.za and talk to us and tell us why you're investing in local brands and or why you're not. We take an ad break. We're back after this.
South Africa's cities are booming with more people arriving every day. But that puts pressure on transport. So we are developing new integrated public transport systems to help our people get around safely, quickly and cheaply. Over 300 new buses and more than 16,000 minibus taxis have already been assembled in local factories. That's more transport, more accessibility and more jobs. The National Infrastructure Plan. Together, we are changing lives.
Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zondi.
Currently, we've got 3 apps that we've developed: the Q Marshall app, a commuter app, and a taxi association app.
The Chinese e-commerce company Alibaba Group Holding has decided to pursue an IPO in New York. Safaricom wants to introduce M-Pesa to Kenya's popular matatu industry. This will enable commuters to pay taxi fares using mobile money.
That's Network, Sundays, 7:30 p.m. on SABC News.
The DA is using 10,000 rand for poop scoops. A disgrace!
They found that Cape Town is the best run metro in the whole of the country.
What steps will you take to protect communities from the kind of police brutality?
When I am the mayor, I won't take the million-rand salary.
You guys all look the same. None of you should be trusted.
Catch the election debates on SAFM, SABC News Channel and SABC One, Sundays at 6 p.m.